When I mounted the display in the case originally, I was using this bit of cut-out foam that sort of sat around about there, with a little gap for the flex cable to come out. And then underneath the display itself, I had a little pad of the same sort of pink foam. That was just to stop it rattling around. So what I've done now is I've got under here, if I take the PCB out, I've got a 3D printed sort of display mount here, which is held in by the PCB. The PCB is screwed in with these 4 screws here, and it's flush with the back of this plastic. It's very similar to the original LCD arrangement. So when I made this holder, I actually left a little space there so that I could, if I needed to, put a little bit of the foam there just to give it a bit of pressure at the back, because there is a bit of movement there, but I haven't really needed that up until now. The display is just mounted on the other side in a recess here, which is the same size as the outer glass, a little bit larger. There's tiny little bit of movement, and there's a space for the flex to come up and then attach to the PCB. This all fits inside the original display, the original LCD display sort of front cover. The LCD itself sits inside a black sort of frame inside here, and that frame then clicks into the PCB here and here. I've left the holes, not really sure why actually. I just wanted the board to be the same form factor in case there was something mechanically going on. But with this one it sort of fits there, and you can see that the display is very close to those holes, and that holds the display in place quite nicely, and then the flexi wraps round into the connector there. When the power supply PCB, that sort of, the main display fits there, with the keyboard here and the keyboard mat, and the power PCB fits in there like that fairly nicely. That then rotates around, so the power PCB is like this in the case, and this bit of plastic fits on here. Now when that happens, that does actually squish down on the end here on the display flexi, and it does sort of force it into a shape to get around the plastic and sort of get out of the display area and around into the PCB. I haven't had any trouble with it. It still works on my my prototype, and I think it's fine, so I'm not too bothered about the bending of the flexi. If you're going to make a unit, then you'd probably just put it together, bend everything, the flexi would be forced into position, sort of something like that, and then that's it, it's left like that. On my prototype it's been taken apart and dismantled and fiddled with and all sorts of things. The display's come out, I don't know, about a dozen times now I think at least, and it's been fine, so I don't think there's a problem with that. It's probably exceeding some specifications, but it works. So it's a lot nicer having this, because I don't have to cut bits of foam up and things. I can just make one of these, sort of trim it a little bit because there's some 3D printing artifacts, and then the display fits in and everything's fine. So that's working quite well. Quite pleased with that.